Welcome to the Introduction to Cloud-Based Instancy Learning Content Management System and Authoring Tools. You can now empower your entire team to create interactive multimedia learning content, and you can even automate some of the processes involved with creating wonderful and interactive educational content. The Instancy LCMS is designed to help you create content one time as a single source repository and deliver that content in many different ways. Deliver it on the web, mobile, and also print. The LCMS is different from an LMS because the LCMS is a place where you create new content. And when you publish that content, you can then bring those course and content packages into a learning management system where that content can be delivered. So we are going to focus today on the Instancy source content management and authoring tool functionality. So within the Instancy LCMS, you can create many different types of content. So it's a place where you can have the entire team get an author account, and from that account, they can begin to create different assets. They can create simple assets like an assessment or a quiz. They can combine many different question types and build a quiz out of that. If they want to create a multimedia presentation, an interactive tutorial, they can use the built-in learning module editor to do so. If they want to create more advanced assessment packages based on a pool of questions, and you want to randomize those questions and also enable students to practice for an exam, there are many built-in features for you to tag the questions with the level of difficulty, and you can tag the keywords of the questions and enable students to practice with different levels of questions. If you want to create a course, you can combine many different modules and assessment or quizzes. You can even add a pre-test and a post-test and create an e-learning course. An online survey, on the other hand, is a series of questions where you want to get feedback from your audience, from your learners. It's comprised of many different questions, which may include essay-type questions or a short, text response question, multiple choice questions. But a survey is presented differently than a quiz. Survey is typically presented on a single page. So you can format the survey, and the reporting information is slightly different for online surveys than it is for the regular assessments and exam preparation packages. There's a built-in editor for creating events, such as virtual classroom events or physical training events. You can also author the combination of a classroom event with an e-learning course. This is also a place where you can upload documents and combine those documents as resources with e-learning courses. There are other simple tools available to allow you to create a certificate and modify that certificate with the right branding and configurable fields so that certificate can have the name of the student, the date of completion, and the title of the course, and those kinds of things can be updated dynamically. You can build web pages so that you can not only contribute e-learning courses, but also manage your web content and your document management all in one place. So with this tool set, you can begin to orchestrate the learning exactly the way you want it, and you have a big, powerful object repository where all these content types are available as building blocks, as content objects, and they can be shared by different people within the content team. Your e-learning authors can now get browser-based authoring tools so that they can create multimedia presentations in which they can add graphics, text, video. They can introduce branching so that users can be branched to different locations with hotspots, can have pop-up explanations, can have animations to present different concepts and processes. So different kinds of instructional content can be created rapidly with browser-based tools, and authors can contribute content no matter where they are located, and all the content gets deposited into this repository. The content is actually put into an XML repository and then can be presented in many different ways depending on your business needs. Once you're ready to publish these learning modules, you can pick from a variety of different templates so that the skin or the outer shell of the course can be dynamically altered based on your business needs. This branding can be matched with your learning portal or your LMS branding. Your logos, your corporate colors can be incorporated into these templates very, very easily. The templates are managed outside the content so that it's very easy for the content to be presented in different ways. The subject matter experts in your organization can create storyboards using conventional tools like Microsoft Word. That storyboard can be automatically converted into an e-learning tutorial using the built-in storyboard conversion tool. Similarly, your instructors who have already created a lot of PowerPoints, you can leverage those assets and import the PowerPoints as a complete file or specific slides into your e-learning modules. The graphics elements, the text, and the titles and audio files and video files can be automatically brought inside the learning object repository, and from there it can be reused within other learning tutorials. There is a built-in assessment and online survey tool with which you can edit questions and assessments. You can reuse questions within various assessments. There are many different types of questions and templates built in to help you create multiple choice questions. How about essay type questions, where users can type in a long response, or they can even upload a file, which could be an audio file or a document to respond to a question. Now, there's a powerful editor within this LCMS called the Learning Track, which allows you to create flexibility and personalization within your e-learning courses and curriculum. It's a flexible learning architecture where you can aggregate many different modules, and you can begin to combine different modalities of learning. In some cases, you may want to combine the e-learning with assessments. In some cases, you may want to combine that with documents and videos. In some other cases, you may want to add discussion forums for those students who want to not only take that entire course, but also have a discussion within that course with all the participants of that course. You can also add events or training webinars as well as classroom training programs within the learning track, which allows you to create a very nice blend of different modalities of learning. The different learning rules can be added into the track to add more personalization. The event editor allows you to schedule different classes, assign instructors, and this editor is very similar to other editors, so that once you get familiarized with one or two of these editors, using the other editors becomes very easy. The personalization rules framework is a very powerful way for you to be able to create personalization and sequencing rules for your content. You can, for example, offer a pretest, and based on the results of the pretest, you can send the users to specific topics. Another example is where you may want to remediate students to a different learning module based on their completion score and so on. Once you're ready to publish your content, you can preview that, and you can see how your content is going to look like. The Learning Content Management System comes with not only authoring tools, but also a responsive presentation layer so that content can be viewed on different variety of devices and different sizes. You can view the content in a desktop browser. You can preview that and see how it's going to look like on a tablet or a smartphone. And once you're ready to publish, you can publish that either directly into the Instancy Learning Management System or export that course and publish that using a third-party learning management system. The content that's coming out of this LCMS is responsive, so that the same content is designed in such a way so that it can play on various devices without needing to be published in multiple different file packages. One other very interesting thing about the LCMS is that it allows you to not only build learning modules and assessments and events that we talked about, but also helps you create a repository of multimedia assets, graphics, animations, videos, audios. These files can be reused, and you can track where these elements are used so that you can begin to reuse these assets. You can either link them or copy them, so it allows you to manage these assets in a very, very easy way. Now, the collaborative environment of the LCMS allows authors to create content, but you also have reviewers who can be added into the system. And these reviewers can come and view the content and provide their comments. Those comments can then be used by the authors to revise the content and make updates to that content. So the back and forth communication between the authors, the subject matter experts, and the reviewers can be managed through the learning content management system. The exam preparation module is another specialized module within the LCMS that allows you to publish exam packages, but more importantly, it allows the students to pick and choose various topics based on certain keywords or based on the difficulty level of the questions and based on the randomization choices and so on. The students can decide what kind of exam they want to practice, and they can keep coming back to it as many times as they need to in order to be fully prepared for an exam. A pool of questions can be organized, and from that pool of questions, the students can pick and choose different options. The learning content management system is designed to help you import and work with e-learning standards-based content modules and content packages. You can import AICC, SCORM, and Experience API-based content packages into the system. Similarly, you can export content created within the authoring tools, which are part of the Instancy learning content management system, and export them in any of these e-learning standards so that, again, you create your content one time and then publish that in many different ways based on your business needs. So to summarize, the Instancy learning content management system gives you a centralized learning object repository which has layered access to content objects. At the lowest level, you have videos, audios, images, documents, and lower level content objects that can be shared and reused with the higher level objects such as a learning module, which is made up of many instructional frames within which a lot of multimedia assets are used and reused. Similarly, you have assessments and online surveys, and then classroom events and webinars. In the next level of hierarchy, you have learning tracks and curriculum or curricula where the lower level objects can be used. So you have authors who can create content, reviewers who can be given the privilege to simply review without making any changes to the content and provide review contents so that authors can make updates to the content. Subject matter experts can submit their storyboards, which can then be automatically converted into e-learning tutorials. And content publishers can meta tag the content and simply publish it to the Instancy learning management system where the students can be assigned these different types of learning resources. Plus, you have the ability to manage this content in e-learning industry standard formats so that your investment in building this content can be preserved, and the content update cycle and recycle of the content can be maintained over a long period of time. So by building a centralized repository of content and giving multiple people the ability to share, and you can control access to different levels of people who can contribute for a specific period of time. So this becomes a very, very powerful and automated and reusable repository so that you can ongoingly create as much content as you require and really provide your learners with personalized learning as and where they need it on the right device and at the right time. We invite you to take a further look at the Instancy Learning Content Management System by visiting www.instancy.com.